Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. We're out here, we're in nature. Hear that bird singing? Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. We got a question that came in. Someone asked, what do I know about ancient Egypt? The emerald tablets. Could I dive into it? Right? The mystery schools. Has it helped me in any way? They're curious about it. We ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? We had a great event yesterday. Fantastic, right? People flew in from Miami, Chicago. People drove from San Francisco. And that's what happens when you start meeting face to face with people you've been going back and forth with for a long time. Crazy stuff happens. Amazing stuff happens, right? It was just terrific. And what was coming up a lot in the event was food, right? 7-day vegan challenge, baby. What do we got here? Ooh, can I get a kalo there? We got some kale, right? And this is full of live enzymes, right? Watercress, once again, full of live enzymes. And the reason why live enzymes are so important is because this will help you digest your food easily, right? This is full of antioxidants. But you see, a lot of us, we're processing our food so much, we're cooking our food so much, right? Anything over 114 degrees Fahrenheit, once again, the enzymes become denatured, non-usable, meaning the body actually now has to rob your healthy cells to help digest the food. So once that's depleted, well, you start to age. You start to age, right? When we are really so much more than what we've been told, but it's all down to the food, right? So I'm going to tie this into the emerald tablets, right? And you're probably thinking, what are you talking about? What are the emerald tablets? The most powerful, successful, richest people on this planet, the higher echelon, learn and study the emerald tablets. A book of arcane wisdom only a few have access to, right? You and the cat down the road, right? Going back to ancient Egypt or Kemet, going back thousands of years, you had Thoth, the Egyptian god, Tahuti, the master scribe, right? And inside the emerald tablets were the secrets of life, the universe, and the human being. And this was passed to the early alchemists of Europe. And they were amazed at how mind-blowing this wisdom, which was thousands of years old, was so life-changing. So when I came across the emerald tablets, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why didn't I learn this in school? Right? Why didn't my mother tell me this? So what the emerald tablets really goes into is mentalism. It goes into so much, but really that you've got to visualize to materialize. You got to visualize to materialize. You got to visualize to materialize. 3, right? But a lot of us, we don't have that kind of focus anymore. Why? Because we're around the wrong kind of people. We get distracted. The emerald tablets really is like a manual for how the mind works, because it talks a lot about the subconscious mind. How if you see your mind like a computer, what happens when you go to this website, that website? Whoops, you got a virus. No! Happened to me a few times. Irritating as hell, right? Well, just imagine if you are sleeping and maybe you're going to a website when you're sleeping through your biological internet called the DNA. What happens if you haven't got protection? You get a virus. What happens if you are listening to music which is not really helping you become your greatest version? You start now visualizing what that frequency is emitting to you. So when you realize that everything is mental, you start to learn the secrets that your thoughts create your reality. And I use this every single day, because what really helped me along my early journey was realizing you live in the world you are thinking of. Be crazy, be weird, do anything you want, be anything you want, because you live in the world you are thinking of. And the truth is subjective to what you are experiencing. So when I started to realize that, along my early journey, I would say, okay, I need to go into the wilderness, right? That's really how you find yourself. You got to get lost, at least go in a boat, right? Be like a castaway or something. Where am I? Nobody knows. That's perfect, right? Once you get lost, you find yourself. You start really listening to your true heart's desire. You start to realize, I get it. The human mind is so powerful, we can create anything we want if we are in the right environment. So the emerald tablets really goes into that. And in ancient Egypt, just think of the Nile Valley, right? Where people could just see the stars. It was so clear. No chemtrails, right? It was just, breathing in that good ass prana, waking up with a bunch of dates in your mouth. Fantastic life, right? You really had enough time and space to materialize, just like here. Nature spaces, ecotherapy is really when you start to see the results. That if you are focused on something long enough, it can't help but manifest, because whatever you focus on grows. And when I was reading the emerald tablets, it was going into correspondence, right? So above as below, so within as without. We still don't know how they made the pyramids. It's a mystery. How did they do it? Where did they get this technology from thousands of years ago? It's a mystery. But you see, the pyramids are in alignment to Orion's belt. So the emerald tablets is showing us that what we see up there is also happening down here. And what is happening within you is also happening outside of you. It is a mirror reflection. In order for you to be at peace externally, you've got to come into peace internally. And that's really what has transformed my life in all kinds of ways. Because I just realized, okay, I'm on what I call the road to elevation every single day. But I've learned the secret. As soon as I come into harmony, I wake up breathing the good ass prana, it starts my day off pretty well. But you see, let's go back into memory lane. I used to wake up sometimes, phone was still on, crazy song was still on, drinks everywhere from last night, clothes everywhere. So I was really not in harmony within myself, and it was a mirror reflection of how my room looked, right? Once I started to clean my body up, start to see myself with unconditional positive regard, my external world became an exact reflection of what I was experiencing within myself. So recently I was driving around, and sometimes I turn the music really loud and oh gosh, I'm driving, and I nearly had an accident, right? Once I calmed down, I was like driving so smooth. So that's a clear example of how correspondence works. The Emerald Tablets, it dives into causation, cause and effect. What is karma? Absolute actions, right? Giving you absolute results. Absolutely. Cause and effect is real, right? A lot of people say, gosh, why don't I have this? You didn't plant the seeds, right? You had so much time to create, but what did you do with that time? Except pick your nose. We do it sometimes. It's okay, right? Look, cause and effect was a big one for me in the Emerald Tablets. That, gosh, what I do, even how I speak to people, is going to have an effect, not only on them, but on me. Ever said something to someone and then they don't call you back for 5 days? Yeah, that's how powerful what you say is to everything around you. That is how powerful every single action you have. A lot of the times, if we're not careful, we slip, right? Sometimes you might get carried away, complacent, and then whoops, right? So the Emerald Tablets really goes into mindfulness, right? That is how to have more master over this principle of causation, that your actions now become your reality, right? If you don't plant anything, you're not going to get anything, right? Some people say, gosh, Ralph, why do you share on Sunday? Because there is no time for me. Every day I'm waking up in abundance with a bunch of grapes in my mouth. Cause and effect. Emerald Tablet secret. Just like Marcus Aurelius said, what we do now echoes on into eternity, right? And the Emerald Tablets spoke of that. Polarity is a massive principle in the Emerald Tablets, right? And really, how this has helped me become my greatest version is to realize, look, a lot of people are coming back to planet Earth just to help the planet. But some people are also here to keep people asleep. This is what we call balance. That's why I say infinite balance. Not everybody on planet Earth is supposed to be doing the same thing. You are here for a specific reason. People know who I am. I know who a lot of people are out here, right? And I know a lot of them know what time it is on planet Earth. This ain't a joke. This is Star Wars. This is an old play replaying itself, written in the hands of time. Polarity is realizing when you go and take a shower, imagine if there was only hot water. There would be no experience. You need duality, what we call the mirage of separation, to come to realize what life actually is. Without the cold, you would not appreciate the hot. Without the hot, you would not appreciate the cold. Right? People talk about the dark and the light. You see, what the Emerald Tablets goes into, the Emerald Tablets realizes that good and evil are servants of they're servants of the supreme life force energy, right? The ancient Egyptians talked of the Kaaba, right? But you see, good and evil aren't opposing forces. They are actually complementary and really a perception and a perspective, right? Your heaven could be someone else's hell. Your hell could be someone else's heaven, right? Not everybody likes nature. For them, nature is like boring. Some people love going to work in an office for 12 hours. For me, that's boring. But if it works for you, do it, because that's what polarity is all about. We are like a bunch of crayons, right? So you are going to have contrast in this universe, right? You are going to have contrast in this universe because it's through contrast, we begin to know who we are. When someone is mean to you, you start to know what kindness is, right? So when you actually realize you have polarity going on inside of you, but actually physically, the left brain hemisphere, really creative. The right brain, the left brain, really logical. The right brain, really creative, right? We have to realize how it works, right? When you fuse these two together, great things happen. Fuse the dark and the light, the hot and the cold, the masculine and the feminine. This is what the Emerald Tablet speaks of. But polarity is realizing you are everything anyway. And that's why I always tell people you can never make a mistake. When I came across the Emerald Tablets, it was talking about vibration a lot, right? And Nikola Tesla spoke about how if you want to learn the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency. So if you realize that everything is vibrating, look, this kale is on a higher vibration than processed foods because it's alive, right? When you realize everything is vibration, you got to ask yourself, what vibrations am I emitting? But more so, what vibrations am I inviting into my personal space? Just imagine if you could see energy coming out of people. And a lot of us can when we start to meditate a lot. You feel someone's vibe from a mile away. So when you start to realize everything is vibration, you can now choose who you want to vibrate with. And what's helped me along my journey is connecting myself with people who are going to help me rise higher, right? They're going to lift me up. They're going to make me feel good. They're not going to make me feel guilty. And the Emerald Tablets talks about gender, right? I meet a lot of lesbians. I meet a lot of gay people, transsexuals, straight people, heterosexuals, right? Lots of people diving deep, right? And when you realize what the Emerald Tablets goes into, you see, I'm going to do a whole video on more on sexuality, same-sex relationships and whatnot. A lot of people, you might be a woman, but you might have been a man in your past life and now be attracted to women. The Emerald Tablets talks about how gender we all have the masculine and the feminine principle within ourselves. So that's why you go to my website and you see all women, right? And then my thumbnails is just me, obviously, right? So it's balance. That's the principle of gender. That's why we grow so much. So if you confuse the feminine side of yourself and the masculine side of yourself together and use it and apply it in your everyday life, balance it out, watch what happens, right? And rhythm, because the Emerald Tablets is big on rhythm, right? There's a time for everything, a season for everything, right? A lot of us, we just want it right now. And what's helped me along my journey is realizing you are exactly where you need to be right now. Be patient. Hold on. It's not working, Ralph. I know, because that's really frustrating when someone tells you that, right? Be patient and hold on, please. But I actually realized that's the truth, right? For me, that when it's your time, it's your time. But the law of rhythm, the principle which the Emerald Tablets from ancient Egypt goes into, is that there are cycles, right? The moon reminds us of that, right? You got the menstrual cycle. You got the summer cycle, the winter cycle, right? The seasonal cycles, right? The equinox. It's all a mathematical design. So when you realize there are no accidents, that is why synchronicity happens and occurs. Syn, together, chronos, Greek, in time. Things happening at the same time because it's based on the law of rhythm. There are no accidents. And that's really what has helped me in just diving into the ancient Egyptian wisdom of the Emerald Tablets. Like, a lot of people came here right now and they're coming in with information, right? And it's not an accident. You were born at this time and you're meeting me and the cat down the road, or even watching this, for example. So once again, I use the Emerald Tablets even today, that realizing I still don't know everything, because enlightenment is knowing how much you don't know. But if you can realize this, that whatever you do now echoes on into eternity, you will realize that whatever you have to offer the world is good enough. So there you have it. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. We're out here in nature, getting high, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace.